Hey everyone, so on our Facebook group, Resiners had a giveaway, and under the giveaway, to get their name in for the giveaway, I asked them to comment on something that they have difficulty with or maybe would like to learn. And I was shocked at how many people wanted to learn how to do a bloom. And I was a little bit worried because I had tried doing blooms like a year and a half ago, and I said, oh, forget it, I couldn't get it. But this time I did. So I hope you guys will follow along. And this is actually with a coating resin, and it works beautifully. I hope you stick around and watch how I do it. So I want to start by saying I am in no way a bloom expert. I tried this like a year or so ago and it didn't go well, so I never went back to it. But before this video, I did practice with some to make sure I was going to be able to make the blooms before I made this actual video. So I've mixed up my resin, and the resin that I'm using for this project is the Craftor tabletop epoxy. So this is a coating resin. The coating resins are thicker, and with these thicker resins you do not have to measure the temperature of your resin. It's much easier than if you're using a casting resin. So in each of these small coasters I put just under 1 ounce, and then in the larger coasters I put 2 ounces in the 3 bottom ones. So for the white, I'm using the Loraz white pigment paste, and I have seen other people compare the different pigment pastes, and most all of them were the same, had the same effect. So I'm not sure that one is better than the other, but I do like the Loraz white pigment paste, so I thought I would use it in this. And to start with, I just put a tiny dot on the end of my popsicle stick and put it in. It's in your best interest to start really small with the white and then gradually build it up darker and darker, because if you put too much in it at first, you might as well toss the resin because it will sink. The trick is to get it dark enough so that you can see it, but not too dark so that it's not heavy, because that's what happens. The white gets very heavy and it drops to the bottom. So you'll see me just getting a little bit at a time, putting it at the end of a popsicle stick and sticking it in there, and you'll see I end up with like 4 popsicle sticks in there in the end, and just mixing it up. And what you want it, the way I understand it, is you want it opaque. See, that looks, see how that's still translucent and you can see the stick through it? You don't want that. When you pick up a big glob of it out of the cup, you want it dark enough at the top that it's opaque, but as it starts to drip off the popsicle stick, you want it to become translucent as it's thinner. So here I'm picking it up in slow motion so you can see it. And see, I can still see the popsicle stick through that. I hope you can see that. And it's just too translucent. So again, I'm adding a little more, stirring it up. I put the stirring up portion in fast forward, and then I'm showing it to you again. And it's still too translucent, so I'm adding a little more. And oh, that is a little bit off camera there, but you want it to be opaque, but not too opaque that it's too heavy. It's once you get doing it, you'll understand. So as it gets thinner on your popsicle stick, you do want to be able to see through it. So once you get it the way you want it, just put it in the piping bag. And this is what everybody does. They either use a piping bag or they use like a little paper cup that you can squeeze together and use as a spout. So it's really up to you, whatever way you can control the flow coming from the bag or the cup best. Whatever is easiest for you is what you should do. And here you can see I'm just putting it into the piping bag. It's actually just a little baggie from the kitchen. And then once it's in the bag, I just twist it and set it aside. So a lot of the alcohol inks I'm using, and make sure you use alcohol ink because there are little bottles called resin colorants that they sell that sometimes you might get mixed up for alcohol ink. They're not the same thing. They don't bloom, as far as I know, they don't bloom like the alcohol ink does. And so the alcohol inks I'm using are the Octopus inks from Laura's Art Corner. She has some beautiful colors, and I just ordered some more of them. I was hoping to get a yellow, and because I don't have a whole bunch of colors, I am using some of the Let's Resin alcohol inks also. The Octopus inks, the difference is they're more highly concentrated. And the two I'm using is Smurf, and I think this one is Berry Juice. The blue is the Smurf. And Laura's Art Corner has tons of alcohol inks. She might have 100 different colors, I don't know. But I do have a 10% discount code down in the description, and it's Crazy Glass Lady. And she has thousands of products that she sells. And honestly, I do not know the best color mixes, what to avoid, what colors to mix together and things like that. I know that Daniel Cooper used to tell you what colors worked best together. I don't know if it was actually for the blooms, but for other things that he did with the alcohol inks. So anyway, I'm just putting some on the outside and a different color in the middle, and a few of them I do use 3 colors for. And this one is the yellow from Let's Resin. But no matter what you do with the colors, I think the most important thing is the white and it being of the right consistency as far as making the blooms, as far as I know. But again, like I said, I'm not an expert. So I'm just randomly putting the colors in. And I have seen people use like a little dotting tool and mix the color, like make a little swirl in the middle, or mix them on the outside if there's some empty areas. They do all different things. Some even put a little bit of glass down in the very bottom of it. So I've made a tiny little hole in the bottom of the white, and I am not squeezing the bag at all. I am just letting it drip out and going in a circle all the way around. And all of these are going to be exactly the same. And then if you guys want to see more blooms, I will try some other ones. But that seemed to be one of the big questions on the giveaway. I had asked people what they had the most difficulty with, or what they would like to learn, and I was just shocked at how many people said about the bloom. So I just go, for every single one, I do the exact same thing. I start in the middle. I don't know if it makes a difference if you start on the outside, but I just go all the way around. And the way I understand it is the more circles that you make, the more petals you will get. So if you only went around like twice, you'll only end up with 2 petals, 2 rows of petals. But the more circles that you make, the more rows of petals you'll get. In those last 2 on the very end, the purple you'll see is kind of moving in and away from the sides. On the one, I wished I would have pushed the purple so that it covered the entire bottom there, because you'll see at the end what ends up happening. So, I mean, don't be afraid to manipulate the alcohol inks before you put the white on it. I think it would have been in my best interest had I done that with the purple, especially that one I'm doing right now. So I just finish up, and that's the very last one. And then to make the lines in it, you use a dotting tool or something that's not sharp. And the reason you do that is in case by accident you hit the bottom of the mold, it won't scratch it. So I actually use a popsicle stick in this, which probably isn't in your best interest, but it just happens to be what I grabbed. But it's really best if you use something that has a real rounded edge, I guess I should say. So I am not touching the bottom. I'm just going in on all the sides. I do 4 big petals, and then I cut each of those 4 big petals in half, and I do this for every single one of them. And from looking at the back of them, there's no way that you can actually tell what they're going to look like from the front. Some of the ones that look so ugly from the back really end up being the best ones from the front. And you can see how some of the alcohol ink, when I get down to the 2 purple ones at the end, they're really starting to move off to one side, and some areas really don't have any of the alcohol ink at all. So I guess had I waited before I put the white on a little bit and shifted that purple around, maybe it wouldn't have had so many areas that didn't really have the alcohol ink on it. So now it's done, and all we can do is wait. And this is sitting on the heat table, but I do not turn the heat table on, but I'm wondering what the heat table would do to them. I think that would be really interesting to try sometime. Maybe I'll try it in another video. So just cover them up and wait. So the next day I take the cover off and demold them. And just by looking at the back of them, like I said, you really can't tell anything. So this first one, it turned out super pretty. Now some of that white, can you see how a couple little drops of it actually look like it dropped? So it was just a tiny bit heavy. So look at, I mean, the majority of it is great, but there are a couple of little white ones that dropped. Now as I go on, it less and less. Oh, that's pretty too. Well, they're all kind of pretty. So those were the large ones, and these are the smaller ones. And that's super pretty. Oh, I like those colors. That was the Smurf. That was the Octopus Inks, I think. That's pretty too. It's a little lopsided, but it's pretty. I guess you have to be careful when you swirl them to make sure you're making it right in the center. And that one I put some yellow in. I don't know if I like the yellow, but that's kind of pretty. I mean, I think that's the general idea. Oh, that's real pretty with the purple. You could see it needs a little more purple on the one side, and that one the purple really shifted. But that's still real pretty. So I didn't end up backing any of these, which is something you can do. What I decided to do was to use them like artwork and put them on in frames, which I mean, really they are pretty artwork. So I pulled out some of the other ones that I had done when I was experimenting, and then I prepared some frames. So the way I prepared the frames was I took the glass out of the back and then spray painted each one of them. The 3 smaller ones are actually Dollar Tree frames that for $1.25. And anyway, after they were painted, the glass still being out, I took this glue, which is called Titebond glue, and I put it around the perimeter of the back of each of the frames. Then I replaced the glass and I went around the perimeter one more time. This serves 2 purposes. It helps to hold the glass in place, and it helps to prevent resin leaks when you put resin on the other side. The glue is just a temporary hold. The resin is what will permanently adhere the glass to the frame. So these Dollar Tree square frames were really a good deal, but they were kind of a pain because they just sucked in the paint. We had to give it like 4 coats of paint before it had decent coverage on it. Normally, after the glue is dry, I take painter's tape and put it around the perimeter of the back as an extra precaution against resin leaks, and I totally forgot, and I did have a few resin leaks. So some of the coasters that I'm using, on this are ones that I just made, and some of them are ones that I made in my experimenting before I actually did the video. So like that pink one that's in the purple frame, I just love that, and I thought that would look so pretty in the purple frame. So I mixed up my resin. The resin I'm using for this project is Bond Craftor casting resin. The casting resin works really well on glass, whether it's framed or not framed. The coating resins you only have to use for wood and canvas. But remember, for the coasters, I did use the coating or tabletop epoxy from Bond Craftor. So on this glass here, I'm using a casting resin, but for the coasters, I used a coating resin, both Bond Craftor. So anyway, I put the resin on the frame. Just remember, on the glass, just remember when you're putting it on, you're also going to be putting a coaster on, which will displace the resin. And I almost had it going over the side of the frame because I really put too much on. And then I just set the little coaster in the middle. And next I used some glass. This is Ashland decorative filler. And this is actually an iridescent glass that I had sprayed at one time with the pearl, Tamaya pearl spray paint, which is a super pretty white spray paint. And I just put, sorry this is going in and out of focus for some reason, and I just put a little bit in each of the corners. And honestly, that's what I did with the other three. I just put resin down, made sure it was all spread out over the glass, put the coaster on, and then I put glass in the corners. And the glass I'm using for both of the black ones is also Ashland decorative filler. It's their silver reflective glass that I spray painted with a metallic silver spray paint, which turns out really pretty. The Ashland decorative filler, I guess they're having a problem getting that in. They were having a discussion about it on my Facebook group, that because of tariffs and that, maybe some of the glass they're not getting in anymore, because holiday wise they used to get all different colors in, and really nothing this year. So but they do still have the silver reflective Ashland decorative filler, and the blue I also have seen up there online, and up at the store. So in the silver reflective Ashland decorative filler, you can color with any color that you want. It's really super easy to do, and a lot of people crush their own glass, so it's just up to you. And there's different places that you can also buy crushed glass. So anyway, I put it in the corners and on to the very last one, which was the white one. And as usual, I ended up with some extra resin, so I decided to see if I could fill that butterfly mold, and I think I ended up with a little flower mold. I love that butterfly mold. You can get that on Amazon for $5.50 or $5.99. I'll link it in the description. It's really a good deal. And so I took this cherry blossom mica powder from Laura's Art Corner, which is super pretty, and put that in one of the little cups of resin, and in the other one I used the eye candy snowflake mica powder, which is super pretty. It's similar to that crushed crystal, but if you put a lot in the cup, it'll be a real sparkly white. So I mixed both the white and the eye candy one together, trying to do it slow so I didn't create too many bubbles. So once I had these all mixed, and I know it looks like I'm mixing real fast, but I just sped the video up. Once I had them all mixed, I kind of tried to marble them in the butterfly, just by going back and forth one and then the other, and I had a little more left, so I went ahead and filled up the flower mold. Some of those flower molds are so pretty, and you can actually, color the, oh, this isn't a flower mold, this is a turtle. I did the pink turtle. This is the shaker mold that I showed you in the into resin video. I love those little turtle shaker molds. They're so cute. So the next day, they were all done. That's the little turtle, and this is the butterfly. And I decided to put the butterfly on glass also. I just love this butterfly. And I had another Dollar Tree frame that I had painted white. I mixed a little more resin up and put some crushed crystal in it. Just a little sprinkle of crushed crystal will give it a real sparkly effect, glittery effect. And just spread that out and put the butterfly in the middle and put some of the iridescent Ashland decorative filler glass in the corner and let that set up. Hey everyone, so using this Craftor tabletop epoxy, because it's a coating resin, it makes it so much easier to do these. I had done some probably a year and a half ago with regular epoxy resin, and it was a complete fail. So I just said, forget it, I'm not doing it again. And then I heard somebody say that it's so much easier with the coating resin. So you don't have to measure the temperature or anything like that. So this, I didn't warm it all to make it thinner when I stirred it. I just, stirred it very slowly, and I did end up putting it in the bubble removal machine. So coating resins in the bubble removal machine bubble way up. So you have to put them really low in a cup. So you're gonna have to spread it over many cups. Because they do bubble way up and there's a chance of them bubbling over. But whenever I put resin into a mold, I always put it through the bubble removal machine. So, but anyway, so these were so much easier to do, and I know they're not perfect by any means. I mean, I really don't have any experience, but I started doing, a few more, and really the biggest thing is the white, the consistency of the white. And it's just a fine line between when there's too much white in it. You're probably better off not having enough, because when there's too much, it starts dropping to the bottom. And you saw in one of them, a little bit of it dropped. I don't know if it was, this one here. You can see when it starts coming all the way to the bottom, but I think that's still pretty. And what a cute idea to put them. I mean, they are like artwork. And I mean, how many coasters do you need? So I thought those would be cute. And I mean, this frame was literally $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. The only problem with this is you have to put quite a few coats of your spray paint or whatever on, because it just sucks up all of the paint. So it needed many coats. But anyway, I thought those were kind of cute like that. And this one's turned out super pretty too, the different colors. And this is a lot of these were done with the colors from the octopus inks from Laura's Art Corner. They work really well. They're highly concentrated. She has like 100 different colors of octopus inks, and I have ordered some more because there were certain colors, like I didn't have a purple or a yellow, and I wanted to try them. So, and she has thousands of products. I have a 10% discount code, Crazy Glass Lady, so check out her site, Laura's Art Corner. And then this pink one I had done before, I had videoed it. I thought that was real pretty, especially on the purple frame. I just thought they were different. And then the little bit of glass in the corners just adds. And so these are, this is the larger coaster mold. And these are smaller coaster molds. So for these little Dollar Tree frames, you have to use the smaller coaster molds. And this is the larger one. And this was a garage sale find. But I think that's really pretty, don't you? And then I had that extra. I just love this butterfly. I use this butterfly for everything. And I found this on Amazon for $5. I think it was less than $5.99. I'll put the link. I want to get that other butterfly. There's another butterfly that's made up of all these teeny tiny flowers that's real pretty. But I just took a little bit of pink you saw and put it around with this. So I think I used this pink mica powder from Laura's Art Corner in the butterfly. So I wanted it the same color around. I just used my finger, and after mixing it with the the mineral spirits? No, high acrylic varnish. You mix your mica powders with the varnish and you can paint with it, and it makes it look metallic, real pretty. So anyway, I thought that was cute, something to do with my extras instead of just whatever, a magnet or whatever. But anyway, I thought that was cute. So yeah, so the Bond Crafter tabletop is what I used for them. I'm gonna try some more if you guys want me to try some more. I was shocked that that was one of the biggest questions. There was a giveaway. Oh, Resiners had a giveaway, and they said that well, you know, ask them a question with the giveaway. So I thought, well, let's ask what people want to see or learn the most. And at least a dozen people had asked, you know, they want to learn how to do a bloom. And well, that's one thing I wanted to learn too, because I wasn't able to do it. But I have another idea for these blooms that I'm going to show you. So normally what the majority of the people do when they finish the bloom is they turn it over and they put resin on the back, a different color. And the way to tell what color would look pretty is get a piece of paper in that color and put it on the back, like the black. A lot of people do it with black. Well, this didn't have enough on that side, so that doesn't look very good. But that pretty red one, I think, would look good on black. But anyway, that's how you can tell. And then you just can dome it on the back with a different color, maybe a sparkly black or something. But I think they're pretty like this too. So if you do want to see me experiment with more blooms, let me know. There's so many different ways to do them. And again, the trick is really with the white. So with the tabletop epoxy, you do not have to wait for it to get to a certain temperature or worry about that. It's just ready to go. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. There's now a hype button. I can't find it on my computer, but I can find it on my iPad. So anyway, hit that. Have a Facebook group going, an amazing group over there. Come check us out, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.